Don't tell medical doctors they are morons that they know nothing about drugs and surgery. Let's see, this is a 5-Tony VVV. Yeah, you know, this is the thing. And I've said this before. I'm definitely hard on the medical community. And I'm hard on them because these are a bunch of lost souls that have, and I think it just goes with the whole concept of the Rockefeller or the whole control and things. If you'll look at this, if you look at that modality from the outside, you'll see that whole fear, control-based thing. If you ever had cancer and visited oncologists, you'll know firsthand because it's all over the place. So when it comes to drugs and the use of drugs, I can't begin to tell you. I have a lot of nurse friends, a lot of RN friends. My significant other's an LPN. I have a lot of nurses, and I know a lot of medical doctors. And I will say this, medical doctors need to thank a lot of nurses for saving their butts. And I know a lot of pharmacists, and I have a lot of pharmacist clients, and I have pharmacists who have been here that are teaching and carrying herbs and teaching medical doctors how to use botanicals. So there's a lot more to our clinic than you might realize. So, and a lot more to what I know than maybe you realize. But I can say that this is why a few years ago pharmacists wanted to get all the drug recommendations away from medical doctors, but they were too powerful for them to do that because there was too many deaths and too many interactions from bad prescriptions written by medical doctors, and many of a nurse have saved medical doctors' butts from doing that, killing their patients from prescribing wrong medications. Don't take my word for it. Start asking some nurses that. You'll see that. And it wasn't that long ago in the 90s that pharmacy wanted to control the recommendations. They would get the diagnosis, and then they would be the recommendations for the prescriptions, because pharmacists take their time and study all the chemistry and study that. So you go to people that take the time to learn the most about these things. You don't go to a plumber for an electrical question. I don't go to a medical doctor for an herbal question. Now, unless that herbal doctor has made a life study of that. I have made a life study somewhat of allopathy, and so I do have some opinions based upon actual fact and observed issues. I spent a lot of years in hospitals, so yeah, I've seen some surgery that is unreal. I've seen some surgery, those guys should have went to jail immediately. Bad stuff, bad stuff. And yet I've seen some surgeries that are unbelievable. That guy's got a face right now, can go kiss a surgeon, because you've got some fantastic surgeons out there. And I've said that all along. I'm not downing these guys. I'm downing medical doctors who think they're into healthcare. Anyway, grounded Pisces. I have a Pisces moon and an Aries sun. Interesting. Interesting. Hey, Doc, glad to see you ripping these questions up on the YouTube. Sorry, man. For those who receive certificates from the International School of Detoxification, as soon to be osteopathic school applicant, cool beans. Osteopathic school. Yeah, you'll be able to help them out pretty good there. I have a lot of good osteopathic friends. A lot of good osteopathic friends. Dr. Van Kyle out of Pennsylvania, good friend of mine, good old farm boy, hair down to his lower back. I mean, this guy sees more patients than Carter's got pills. But he's a good guy, raises his own herbs and everything else. Osteopathy needs to come back to its more of its roots and get more natural involved and influence the allopaths to that way too. Instead of the allopaths influencing osteopathy, we need osteopathy to influence allopathy. I get that right? Please don't judge me. Oh, I don't at all. I'm glad you're in osteopathy. Not at all. I think that you're there to make a difference. And a lot of great osteopaths out there making a difference. You know, Willie's got a good friend. We have a good friend up there, Dr. Streeter, up in Shipshewana. I mean, there's a lot of good osteopaths there that have taken on that natural side. I've just got a lot of respect. I have respect for all levels. It's when your level starts hurting too many people and you get lost in that and you get narcissistic about that, that's a problem. And that's the only thing about that. But we need all levels. We need allopathy. Don't get me wrong. We need surgeons. You get in a car accident, you need surgery. We need a good emergency medicine. But we also need the proper health care. We need to separate that which is emergency and trauma from that which is our daily lives. Even though we must understand in trauma cases how we pull them out of that and repair tissue at a much more rapid rate. Understanding health and vitality helps us to reach into emergency medicine and do a much better job than we're doing. And also with surgery, we must also understand naturopathy is the core healing modality, I've said this before, of all life. And all life springs from that. All these modalities, osteopathy, allopathy, homeopathy, all these viable sciences definitely spring out of nature. Because if you understand the core issue of chemistry and physics, you will understand how we repair tissue faster, how we can help people in trauma cases better, burns patients without all the suffering. I mean, there's a high level here, so enjoy osteopathy. Absolutely. I'm not judging. Good man. I'm for you. Do you think it would be helpful to add my certificate on my application resume for admissions? Yeah, I have a feeling that if they're, I don't know, you can, do whatever you want. Yeah, oh, thanks, man. I appreciate your comment here. I do appreciate it. And it sounds to me like you're going to be a very fine osteopath. I love all modalities. I think we need to respect each other. But for those that are in naturopathy, allopathy and oncology, you need to drastically change what you're doing. We need to drastically change healthcare. And once that takes place and everybody understands their role in life and their role is defined, boy, we can then do some fantastic work. All of us together can do some fantastic work on this planet. I just love it because some of you guys are really science-minded brains. I talked to one last night from Sweden. This guy's going to do well. And so we're just all facing our health problems. And I think it's just going to make better osteopaths, better allopaths, better homeopaths. It's just, we all need to know what the core healing issue is. And then if we have to use and borrow some things, we have to quit making deadly pharmaceuticals and make good botanicals that can help you better than pharmaceuticals. If we need a pharmaceutical for a stat need, absolutely. But that pharmaceutical can't have the side effect of killing you. You see what I'm saying? That's not acceptable. And we got to get out of this idea of treating symptoms because we have to understand why symptomology exists and how we cure it. Dr. Morse, what proof alcohol do you advise for making tinctures and why? Well, mine's 190 proof pharmaceutical alcohol. These companies, the company that I'm using and Blessed Herbs all bought pharmaceutical alcohol, 190 grain alcohol. I know a lovely spiritual soul that does the Fox Farms, the flower essences. She uses a good brandy, I think. The 190 pretty pure stuff. I like that. I do like Herbs of Light. He uses the grape alcohol. Very expensive stuff. It's hard to get these things. So as we go down the road, things are going to get better and better and better for all of us, and we're going to have a better menstruum and stuff. Maybe we'll even have more fresh to you. This all is just something else. To be able to do this on a large scale, I mean, when you realize the world wakes up to herbs, we're going to have problems producing enough herbs. We've already wildcrafted several varieties to almost extinction. So we have to be really smart in how we do this. That's why I say there's so much opportunities to grow in creating herb farms, building huge greenhouses, growing our fruits and veggies properly, and where we can grow them in hostile environments like northern environments, and where we can have superior, maybe ocean ponics or whatever. We can use superior techniques to regenerate the soils and the food. Man, sitting down to a table of a bowl of fruit, ocean ponically raised, you're going to sit there and just get you're going to get so high you'll probably leave your body while you're eating. Shelby Huff. Thanks, guys. I'm having some trouble getting enough cows in due to my GI issues, and Dr. Morse's office told me to not focus on cows. Yeah, you can't focus on calories, but you got, it's funny, you have to fix. When you're malabsorbed, I don't care what you eat, you're not getting it in. So sometimes the road to getting well is difficult for those that have heavy interstitial lymphatic constipation in the bowel wall. Don't freak out. Rectal implant, IV, however you want to take it. But if you go down this way, and even with a feeding tube, I'm still faced with proper absorption. And when you don't have proper absorption, it isn't about calories, it's about energetics. I'm telling you, you'll see that once you get proper digestion, proper absorption, proper utilization. Don't forget utilization. That's an adrenal gland issue, except for calcium. That's a parathyroid. So if you don't digest your foods, you don't go anywhere. If you don't absorb your foods, you don't go anywhere. If you don't utilize your foods, you don't go anywhere. Come on in. And if you don't eliminate the waste. What is it?
John Benicia.
He's on the phone?
No.
Oh, he's out there?
Did you want to talk to him?
Yeah. Tell him I'll be out in a minute. All right, thanks. So if you don't do these aspects, if these 4 aspects, if they don't happen, you're not going to be well. That's it. So you're always looking at digestion. How's the pancreas? How's the liver? You're looking at absorption. And the only way to tell malabsorption basically is the iris camera. It'll show you interstitial lymphatic constipation. You got to fix that. And you can pump in the calories, but this is all about getting just simple nutrition, simple energetics to you. You can get oxygen, but you need the carbon. Now, you can get some carbon in the air. That is true. This is why those breatharians think in that levels. But good old carbon from some good fruits and berries and melons is always good as well. So getting all that done is part and parcel to how you feel. Sometimes you get that protein stimulant because you're just not getting nutrition in. You need those. You need that epinephrine from the meats because you're not producing enough epinephrine because you feel like you're not getting any energy or nutrition. So there's a lot of misconceptions on your road to getting well. So some of that shall be is what you're involved in here. They said the cravings are due to the gut pathogens dying. Well, I don't know about gut cravings from pathogens dying. You get gut cravings from pathogens living. Look at all your starch cravings. That's all definitely, there's nothing healthy about starch. And yet, people crave it out the yin-yang. And, of course, that's your fungus problems. And then you can have some proteolytic, you can have worms and things. You start craving dead animals and rare dead animals. Matter of fact, if you have tapeworms, you can really love bloody meat. Anything that revolts me more than to see blood coming out of meat. I just can't deal with that. I want to throw up now. My sister got that. She would just tell them to just throw that steak on one side and throw it on the other and let it walk out to me. And I'm thinking, you got something going on there. You got some tapeworms. Sure enough, when I detoxified my sister, 3 large tapeworms and heads this big. Unreal. They said, so I don't know about dying, but I'm also bored by eating the same old stuff. Well, you have to change your viewpoint because